Hello Cougars, I bet you're wondering, what is up with this mood? Why is this so moody right now? Why am I wearing my awesome Ghostbusters jacket? Well, that's because it is finally spooky season. That's right, we are going into October. This is the month of horror movies. It's the month of candy. It's the month of fall. I am so excited. So today I'm gonna share with you my 10 favorite Halloween/horror movies that I recommend. Here's a heads up with this top 10 video. Some of these films might not be the most gross and disturbing movies you've ever seen. They might not be the scariest things ever, but they're Halloween themed and that's why I picked them. I also picked ones that you might not have seen to broaden your horizons and check out different things. Without further ado, here is my top 10 horror movies/Halloween movies this season. Number 1. In no particular order, number 1 is going to be 1990's Misery. A lot of people, when they think of Halloween, they think of The Shining or Carrie, but this is one of Stephen King's other horror movies that is my personal favorite. The movie is about a famous author who recently got into a car wreck, and his savior is his #1 fan. The author is bedridden and the fan is taking care of him, but when the fan reads his new manuscript for his new book and doesn't like the ending,
how could you? Misery Chastain cannot be dead.
She forces him to write a new ending at any means necessary. All I can say, this is one of my favorite ones. It's a classic Stephen King tale, and there's a sledgehammer and ankles involved, and that's one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen. So definitely go check this one out.
Have you all got amnesia? They just cheated us! This isn't fair! He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car!
Number 2. Next on the list will be a zombie movie from 2002, 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later opens up with one of the greatest openings of all time. A man in a hospital wakes up to a complete empty town. Cars are turned over and he has no clue where anyone is. It's kind of like The Walking Dead. After finding a few survivors, it's him versus the infected. One thing this film started was the idea of zombies running. What I love about this movie is the tone of it, the music, the look. It's super low budget and that's what makes it so great. It's super creepy and eerie and desolate. It gives off so little hope in the film. It really sticks with you. I love this movie. It's seriously so great. Definitely go check it out and be in a dark room when you watch it. Number 3. While we're on the topic of zombies, let's talk about 2004's Shaun of the Dead. While this movie isn't super scary, it's actually really funny. Shaun of the Dead is about Shaun. His girlfriend just broke up with him and he works at a dead-end job. But all that will change when it's up to him to become the hero, save his girlfriend and friends from the zombie apocalypse. Get some friends together and have a great laugh. It's one of the few movies that have ever made me laugh so hard I started to cry. It's a bromance, it's action, it's horror, and it's romance, all wrapped up into one great bundle. So make sure to check out Shaun of the Dead. Number 4. Speaking of films that are funny, 1988 Killer Clowns from Outer Space is going to be number 4 on this list. There's not much I can say about the movie besides the fact that it's about killer clowns from outer space. Now, I know for a lot of people, clowns are super creepy, but trust me, this is just 80s nostalgia at its finest. With bright colors, ridiculous gags, and a goofy set piece. It's so memorable. That's what I love about it. Frankly, when you watch this movie, you're gonna be laughing more than you're scared. It's just so crazy and bizarre and so unique. Don't let the title fool you. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a great time.
They wanna play games? They're messing with the wrong guy.
Number 5. Next on my list is more of a mystery thriller, but I still think it's a great watch. 2018's Searching. The movie is set all on a computer screen, kind of like Unfriended, but actually good.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm calling to report a missing person.
Okay, who is this regarding?
My daughter.
What I love about this movie is that it is so well executed. The suspense, the mystery, every single element of it is so well done. When you watch the movie, there's so many little hints and clues you can pick up on. That's the reason why I watch it so many times. I have a funny story about this. I watched it in theaters with one of my old girlfriends, and we were at one of those nice theaters that's like the 2 seats and it almost can form a couch. And right when a super crazy moment was happening, she tried to go up and hug me, and I'm not kidding you, I literally pushed her away and went, oh my God. It was that intense. You have to watch this movie, enjoy the mystery and how it unfolds.
Number 6.
Going back to classic horror movies will be 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the original one. They remade it a couple times, but honestly I don't think any of them have actually been even close to being as good as the original. The film is as simple as 5 people going to Texas and of course going to an abandoned house. They probably shouldn't have done that. Just like 28 Days Later, it's super low budget, so it has that indie feel to it. The camera, the fact that it's all in daylight, the gross look of Texas, every single thing works in its benefit. And of course, you get the crazy family. The whole thing is just so weird and disturbing, and that's what makes it so memorable. When I was a kid, I started watching horror movies, and I watched some Friday the 13th, and I started laughing at it. It was so ridiculous. So I started getting more confidence. Then on TV, there was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and decided, why not? I can easily watch this. I was so scared after watching that, I decided to just turn off the TV and not do anything else for the rest of the night. I was freaking out. It's truly a classic scary movie, so make sure to go and check it out.
Number 7.
Another oldie but goodie is The Evil Dead, and I'm also going to add The Evil Dead 2. This is going to be one part. All it is a bunch of kids who go and rent a cabin in the middle of the woods, and sure enough, creepy things begin to happen once they open up an old book. The first one is more horror-based, while the second one, which is more memorable, is the more comedy-based, goofy, silly one. But both stand on their own for classic movies. This is a great one just to put on in the background as well. Any scene is great in it. If I had to describe it in one word, it would be...
Groovy.
Yeah, that's the word.
Number 8.
My next film on the list is 2005's The Descent. This is one of the few films that have really gone underneath my skin. When a group of women decide to go exploring in a cave and get stuck in there, they discover horrible creatures that are hiding underneath there. It's claustrophobic, it's creepy, it's super tense as well. You feel so trapped in there. It's something that everybody fears, whether it's getting trapped in an elevator, or stuck in a car, or stuck in a small room, is a lot of people's fear, for good reason.
Number 9.
We're going super far back on our 9th spot on the list, 1932's Freaks. This movie might not be super politically correct today. And frankly, back then it wasn't either. People were known to be throwing up outside of the theater just from the trailer alone. Now, clearly it was 1932, people had weaker stomachs back then, but it still is a weird and bizarre movie. When a beautiful woman decides to marry one of the freaks, his friends feel that she's only in it for the money, and they're skeptical about her. And that's all I'm gonna say. The movie is just so strange and bizarre. Even South Park has made a reference to it at one point. The movie is only 1 hour and 4 minutes, so it's super short watch, but it's so enjoyable. I know this one may seem old, it's in black and white, but seriously, check it out. It's a classic. Before I show my last movie, here are a few honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list. House, 1977, which is this Japanese horror film. The title itself does not reveal what it really is. The only reason why I didn't put this one on the list is because it's so crazy, and I mean bonkers. I'm not kidding you when I say that. There was one time I knew somebody, I barely knew him, and I seriously recommended this movie to him and said, if you ever watch this, I have to be in the same room with you, just so I can see his reactions. It's super out there and it's super strange, but still, check it out. Next on my list is 2019's La Llorona, which is not to be confused with the other crappy one that came out, I think, the same year. This is an actual Hispanic film that is spoken in Spanish. The only reason why I didn't add this one on the list was because it is a little slow. Also, it's on Shudder, so it's kind of hard to find, but this one is really good, and it has a great score on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you like this folklore, make sure to check it out. The final movie on my honorable mentions list is 2006's Hostel. So this was directed by Eli Roth, who is known to make really gruesome and gross movies. So this is probably the grossest one on the list. The reason why I added it is because, honestly, it's not as bad as his other movies or other films of this genre. If you're interested in dipping your toes into this genre, films like Saw and Hostel are good starts. It's still really gross, so viewer discretion is advised, but it's not as bad as the other ones, and I still enjoyed it.
Number 10.
The final movie on my list for top 10 horror movies / Halloween movies to watch is 2015's Green Room. I know I said no particular order, but this is my favorite one on the list. It is the perfect Halloween horror movie thriller. It's only an hour and 35 minutes, so it's nice and short. Every line of dialogue is perfect and is in there for a reason, and the cinematography is beautiful. When a punk band decides to perform at a neo-Nazi club and witnesses a murder, they get locked in the green room. That's all I will say. Patrick Stewart is a menace in this movie. He performs his perfect way of trying to be sincere, but really he's actually evil. It's bloody, it's scary, it's tense, it's everything I'd ever want in a horror movie. And I love the ending as well. So make sure to check out Green Room. This is my personal favorite of the list. And there you have it. Those are my top 10 horror movies to watch this Halloween season. Like I said, they're not the grossest or most disturbing movies, but I think they're all great picks. Let me know if you have any other movies you'd like to suggest in the comment section down below. And as always, Cougars, I'll see you in the next video.